So, my name is Naveen Shanmugam. I'm the Director of Operational Excellence for Helios Investment Partners based here in London. We are a private equity firm that we focused on investing in companies in African continent. We had about $4 billion assets under management, and then we invest in 38 countries across Africa. And currently we own about 24 companies. What it involves is 100 plus operating entities, several thousand profit centers. We invest in businesses ranging from energy, infrastructure, financial service and fintech, insurance, agricultural, food, chemicals, retail, e-commerce. This is quite varied business that we invest in, all across Africa. So on every investment that we make, we have a value creation plan that spans across various aspects of the business. Achieving operational excellence by employing Lean Six Sigma methodology is one of the key value creation drivers for us. We support companies, portfolio companies in those efforts, providing leadership and coaching, and also driving projects like how to improve the working capital or optimize it, process and productivity improvement. It's quite varied, depends on what is the value creation priorities for that company when we invested in. So that's what we do. So interesting and fun fact about me, I truly got lean, no pun intended. I lost over 2 stones in the last 5 months working from home. It started as a fun discussion over a dinner table with my son, who's 18, and he started working out, getting into active and healthy eating and all that. So he kind of challenged me, "Dad, you can't do this. It's not going to work for you. You're too old." As a continuous improvement professional, where did we hear that before? It don't work. We always done it this way. So I took the challenge up on him. Got healthy, got active, lost 2 stones. And in the process, I turned into a pescatarian and found my new love for cooking in that process. So I would describe the title of my pandemic lean project as Lost and Found. I'm one of those people who lost themselves in the busy life, but found myself during pandemic. So I intend to continue that through let's say PDCA cycle going forward. So that's what I intend to do. When I was just graduate out of university, did my mechanical engineering degree. That was 27 years ago. That's the time my first job is into consulting. And my first client was automotive parts manufacturer. So my role as a consultant, when you go in, you have very short span of time. You have lots of data thrown at you. And also in the consulting, you have deal with a lot of ambiguity. You have short time to make an impact. And as an engineer, what you look at is, how do you structurally approach this? Because a lot of ambiguity in it. So how do we structurally analyze a problem? How do we solve it? So it was natural in that way. You're an engineer, you want to solve a problem in a structured way. And then I started my career in the automotive industry, where the lean philosophy is, practiced and implemented. So that's how I looked at it. This looks cool. Sounds like it's what I need. So I take some of those structural problem analyzing and finding a solution ability to learn from that and apply it in my consulting life. So that's how I got introduced to continuous improvement, or Lean Six Sigma, if you call it. So that's my experience with Lean Six Sigma, how I got introduced. And my first impression was, as I said, it's pretty cool. This is what I wanted to do. So there's a couple of approaches that we take, depends on which business we are talking about and what is the journey they've been on so far until we invest. So one would be, if the business value creation comes from an operational turnaround, so the buy-in from the CEOs and the chief operating officers in running an operational transformation program, transform through operational excellence, is one aspect where we implement a whole lean transformation programs. The second is about, they've done some of these programs before. The frontline, they haven't been able to get some training and coaching, so they kind of, work in a project where they've been asked to do certain things. But now it's a time for, bringing that frontline team to a level up and say, look, there are certain methodology you adapt, and they can solve the problem themselves, rather than you need to work in a team. You don't need to have a driver to drive this project. You know what to do. You work with your team and solve the project. So it's kind of multiple approaches we take, depends on what business that we deal with and what type of journey they have been on in the past up until that point. I think one other thing I would say is, one of my last company I worked for, I spent a day doing the job. We are making some improvements on their logistics, how they deliver products to the customers. I kind of put my overall, went with the van driver for the whole day, actually delivering the products to the customers, and get to talk to the customers also, where they see the receiver of the service that we are providing and the product we are providing. So you get to talk to the customers also. And, rather than listening to the frontline team and looking at various things, I probably, within the one day I spent doing the actual work, I probably gained an experience of working in the field for 6 months. You learn so much actually doing it. So one is about Gemba and talking to the frontline people, and also get hands dirty and doing the job, so where it helps to build that credibility from the frontline team. They will start to listen to you more, you connect with people, so it's easier to make those changes, for the improvements that you're trying to make. So in terms of the, how I got influenced, how I like this role is, frontline team members. What I love about the working with frontline team members is, you learn quite a bit from them. Frontline members continue to inspire me, and that is my happy place, to get hands-on experience, and also learn the details of doing a job. So if I need to do let's say a project, improvement project, first thing to know about what is the scope of the project, how do they actually currently doing that work. So I tend to go and talk to the frontline team quite a bit. You get lots of ideas, and also you build that credibility and you build that connection with people, which is very key to influence and change the behavior. So my influence or inspiration come from the frontline team members, and working with them and influencing their change, the behaviors. This is an interesting question. I mean, this excites me, because every time I go into a new facility, let's say a new company or a new facility when I walk into, rather than going and sitting in an office talking to senior management, the first thing that strikes me is just walk through the floor. And that will tell you a lot about how the organization is run, what is the culture like. So what I look for when I walk into a company is, into the shop floor, first thing is two things. One is the visual management. Do they have visual boards? Do they have visibility of their performance displayed in the factories? Everybody can see it. The second is 5S, how organized their workplace is. So it tells you a lot about whether they have those foundations to build the continuous improvement or Lean Six Sigma approach to continuous improvement. And the second thing I look at is the offices are empty, especially the manager's office. They should be empty. The conference room should not be busy. All I want to see is the manager spending time on the floor, talking to the frontline team, doing daily stand-ups meetings, maybe standing in Ubaya war room. I would like to see the management on the floor, especially in the mornings. At least when you go in, you are attending the daily meetings. It kind of gives you an indication of how mature they are in adapting to this. Those three things: visual management, 5S, and the management team on the floor. First thing I would say, as a business improvement professional, enhance your natural ability as a human being to observe, listen, and think, because they are critical before you ask questions. Whether you are starting a career or already experienced but starting in a new job, or looking to progress your career, go for it. Business improvement, not only helps you solve the problem in your day-to-day operations, it helps you to the exposure to various aspects of the business. You network with people from other departments because you're working in a cross-functional team. As a minimum, it solves a day-to-day problem for you, but it helps you to network, and you're seen as a problem solver. So it kind of gives you that stepstone into further career path. You don't have to go into the same business improvement, lean, black belt career path, but it helps you to set yourself exposure to the bigger business. You network with people, you're seen as a problem solver. It kind of gives you that leverage to progress in your career, whatever path you take. So that's the skill you need to build, and whether you want to build within the Lean Six Sigma world or outside, problem solving becomes a kind of a need for a managerial skill. So if you want to progress your career, that will be really helpful. I would say embrace it and enjoy it.